President Trump and Elon Musk think they can just steal from hardworking seniors, hardworking Americans who put this money into their Social Security account so they would have it when they retire. But they're wrong. People across New York, people across this country are not going to stand for it, and they're not putting up with it. They're saying hands off our money, hands off our futures, and hands off our Social Security benefits. The other day I met a gentleman who worked at Amtrak who said, "Madam Senator," and this doesn't happen to me very often. Rarely does a constituent actually know what I do in Washington, but he came up to me and said, "Madam Senator, thank you so much for protecting my Social Security. Thank you so much for standing against the cuts that President Trump and Elon Musk want to make against my Social Security." He understood what was at risk, he understood the issue, and he wanted to tell me to keep fighting. So that is why we are standing here today, to be standing on behalf of our constituents who do not want their Social Security to be taken away. I've heard this issue from people across the state. People are very concerned about the offices that might be cut, whether it's the office of White Plains, whether it's the office of Poughkeepsie, or any other office around our state that is now at risk. They're unhappy with the fact that when they call the Social Security Administration, they are put on hold. I have a constituent who was on hold for more than 5 hours, multiple days in a row, just to get an answer from the Social Security Administration. Retirees in their 60s, 70s, 80s, they have been reaching out to my office nonstop since this attack on Social Security happened. Now, we know that our Social Security is our money. It's our hard-earned dollars that we put a piece of money in every paycheck. My son, who's 16, had his first job last summer. He got his paycheck, and I showed him, this is your Social Security money right here. $18 went into your Social Security as a 16-year-old. So he knows today, as a young man, I am putting a little bit of my hard-earned money away for the time when I am retired, so that I can make sure I do not have to live in poverty, I do not have to starve to death, I do not have to be unable to support myself when I'm a senior. Trump administration's cuts, however, are making it more and more difficult for our retirees to access their Social Security. The website keeps crashing. They keep demanding you use online services, and they're not working. It's long and it's unfair. My office has been working closely with a number of constituents across the state. One constituent was told she had to speak to a specific person at Social Security to get her check. She called every day, sometimes more than once a day, left messages. She waited the entire month of March for a call back. And when we finally contacted the Social Security Administration on her behalf, she still didn't get a call back until April. It's unacceptable, it's outrageous, and it's unfair. As a ranking member on the Senate Committee on Aging, I've sent letters to the Trump administration over and over again denouncing these recent actions, demanding answers. I've asked this administration to explain to Congress what it's doing and who's running the Social Security Administration website, why they're putting our seniors' data at risk. I've asked for detailed information about the Social Security offices that are having their leases terminated, including 2 in New York, as I mentioned, and what their plans are to cut the services for phone service. The administration has allegedly scaled back on some of these initiatives, but they are unwilling to answer my questions, they're unwilling to respond, they're unwilling to listen to the American people when they say, hands off my Social Security. Social Security is our country's largest anti-poverty program. Reducing access is not just cruel, but it's an economic catastrophe in the making. It's harmful, it's hurtful, and we will continue to stand against it. So please send us your stories. Tell us what's happening to you personally so that we can elevate those stories. So I can talk about them not only for the press, but on the Senate floor, and when I do events like this all across the state. We need this administration to understand that what they are doing is hurting hardworking Americans and is hurting people who have saved and made sure they have this money for when they retire. Seniors should not be scared to death about not getting access to the benefits that they've earned.